Snapchat motherfucking fam. Guess who's back? I'm back. I am back. Back with that BST for your ass. I had to shorten it this time so y'all don't get burnt out on the fucking new dope ass song I got. But anyway, we're gonna start out by talking about what's on my anatomy. So, I kept it real simple today and went with red and black. Quit looking at my dick bulge, motherfuckers. Anyway, got that red on me, got that red LRG swag. You don't know jack shit about that, like you don't know jack shit about most things. Also, I got on some red Vans. Gotta be Vans, dog. And I've never done any skateboarding in my life. Did an ollie one time, landed it, was like, I'm gonna quit at a high point. Never skated again. So, today's BST is called Rodeo Drift. Go ahead, take some guesses at what that might be about. Bet you can't figure it out, but that's why I'm here to fucking tell you about it, motherfucker. So let's begin. Taking it back to about 2005. My old stomping grounds, Jacksboro, Texas. Y'all know all about Jacksboro, Texas by now because I've been telling you on just about every goddamn BST because I was there for about 15 years of my life. Anyway, Jacksboro, Texas, 2005. You may remember Carlos Delgado, who appeared in CSI Jacksboro, the Academy Award nominated fucking home video made by your boy, his brother, and some friends. Anyway, Carlos Delgado. We called this fool Ostrich Eggy because he had a big old fucking head, dude. And when we used to wrestle and shit on the trampoline, this fool's head was impenetrable, dude. No matter what, you could DDT that fool right on his skull. Would not hurt him, dude. Head hard as a fucking rock. Anyway, Ostrich Eggy. He was my boy. He was my brother's boy. He's a cool-ass motherfucker. Season Uno, episode lucky number 13, talks about the Shea Rollet. It's the legend of the Shea Rollet. This story also involves the Shea Rollet. My green Chevy Silverado with the V missing. Yeah. Anyway, me and Ostrich Eggy hopped up in the whip. I was like, yo, Ostrich, we about to roll, fool. We about to go on some back roads. We lived in some fucking double wide over by the bus barn, fool. And it wasn't very far to drive, maybe a block, until suddenly you were on dirt roads out in fucking rural America, dude. Dirt roads. Loved me some dirt roads. And that day I was like, we gon' cruise, my dude. I had a devious master plan that I did not tell Carlos Delgado, a.k.a. Ostrich Eggy, a.k.a. Carlitos. Didn't tell him what the real plan was when we went to cruise. But you're probably starting to put the pieces together and figure it out by now. So, we went out to the back roads. We had just got done watching Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. So you already know I was one of many people out there in the world that was like, oh, this movie's pretty dope. They got a little bow wow in this bitch. They drifting. Let's try to fucking drift. See if we can do it. So I was like, we're gonna hit these dirt roads and it's gonna be like we're in Tokyo, bitch. Hands down, I was a fucking master of driving. A master behind the wheel. Like motherfucking Ryan Gosling in Drive, fool. Had my goddamn hand up on the wheel talking about we about to get it as I kick things over. Anyway, I was like, we about to get it. I think I recall that Carlitos looked over at me. A look of shock and bewilderment on his face. He was like, why did I roll with this fool? This was a terrible idea. He's about to drift. I was going probably far too quickly. I think Carlos said something along the lines of, dude, maybe this ain't a good idea. I started chuckling. Looked that fool dead into his motherfucking irises, and I told him this. I don't know who you thought I was, Ostrich, but what I ain't is a bitch. I ain't no motherfucking bitch. And I told him, this ain't my first rodeo. So I sped it up to about 45 miles per hour. And I was going quick. All of a sudden, hand up on the wheel, talking about shh, shh. Left to the right, swaying, talking about swaying. All of a sudden, lost control. I spun out in a motherfucking blaze of youthful glory, and it was bad. I cut to the right, cut back to the left a little too hard, started fucking spinning, tires dragging across the gravel, spinning. Didn't have time to look Ostrich over into his eyeballs and see a look of sheer terror. Didn't have time. In that moment, I had nothing I could do but try to regain control of the vehicle. So I fucking put on the brake a little bit, not too hard. I didn't want to fuck shit up and make it worse than it was. Anyway, to our left was a fucking tree. But I couldn't regain control of the vehicle. No, it was fucking done for at that point. We was about to die. All this sudden, we fucking flew and spun in a full 180-degree turn, dude. And fucking was headed straight for that big oak tree, man. And then we came to a jarring and abrupt stop. And I thought we was dead, man. Carlos, I did look over at him then. That fool was freaked out beyond belief, dude. We had spun. We had drifted. We had treated that shit like it was Tokyo. And where we had ended up was against that motherfucking tree. And we had hit that bitch hard. Real fucking hard, dude. Slammed into it on the side, the passenger side where the gas cap would have been had it been on the passenger side of the Chevrolet. That's where we smacked the tree. And then we had rebounded off the tree a little bit. We had bounced back maybe about a foot, which was going to help us get out of there. But I fucking looked over at Ostrich, dude. Man, he was probably seconds away from weeping his eyes out in terror and fear. He was younger than me, and I was probably only like fucking 17 years old. And I knew that what I had put that young man through that day was fucked up. It wasn't right. It wasn't cool. Another one of my devious schemes to cause problems and wreak havoc, dude. So I looked over at Ostrich and I said, "Are you all right, man?" That fool was fine. He was okay. So was I. No injuries were sustained. No casualties that day. But I was hurting on the inside. Because I had failed at drifting. And I had failed right in front of one of my friends. And we had just watched a movie. And we were going to be like Lil Bow Wow and that fucking quarterback from Friday Night Lights, the movie. We were going to be just like them. But I had ruined it and failed. Not only that, but I had also damaged the shit out of the Chevrolet, dude. There was a giant crater in the side of that fucking truck that looked like somebody fucking took a bowling ball and launched a fucking 98 mile per hour fastball with that bowling ball directly at the side of my truck, dude. It was a gnarly smash. But luckily, it hit at a place that didn't cause anything to fuck up on the vehicle. Totally still drivable. So we fucking got out of there, homie. We rolled out, and I was thankful deep in the cockles of my heart that ain't no locals were around to witness the dumbassery that I had just gotten me and Carlos into. Now, clearly and obviously, I was going to have to explain this to my mom. That part of it I was not looking forward to at all. How was I going to come up with an excuse as to how this happened? I couldn't just tell my mom, guess what? I watched Tokyo Drift and I was like, I bet I can do that in the vehicle that you bought me that I'm totally running into the ground. Refer to episode 13 of season 1 so you can hear more about how I ruined that fucking truck. I was not looking forward to telling my madre. You know by now that I suck at coming up with excuses. So what I told my mom was that I was trying to not hit a dog and I somehow spun around in a circle and still hit the dog. Or I told her the dog ran into me or something like that. All it took was one fucking glance at that truck to know that it wasn't no dog. Ain't no dog. That shit was either a car hit me or I Tokyo drifted. They knew I was fucking lying my ass off. My madre pretended to believe me. Meanwhile, my padre was not as fucking understanding at all. Not even close. He was like, that was not no dog. Tell me what happened. But I stuck to my guns the whole way through. I just, for years, kept telling him, it was a dog, man. It was a dog. Years later, I came out with the real story to my rents about how I was Tokyo drifting. The long con, baby. We're talking for like 10 years. I had him believing that I swerved to miss a dog, somehow still hit that dog. But I came out and told him the real story about what had happened. Because years later, I figured, well, they're going to be mad about it now. It's a fucking decade after the Tokyo Drift incident. They looked at me like, dude, we fucking knew that the whole time, you idiot. Carlos Delgado, aka Ostrajegi, aka Carlitos, was my brother's best friend at the time. My brother looked at me with sheer and utter disappointment at what I had put his boy through. But we all thought it was pretty funny in the aftermath. So that's your exciting and enthralling, entertaining, intriguing, wonderful, awesome BST for the day. Just more damage to the Chevrolet. I put that truck through hell. Go watch that episode about the legend of the Chevrolet for more. Because that truck got fucking destroyed. Just busted ass. Ugh. Anyway, that truck got destroyed due to neglect and youthful idiocy. But yeah. So it's time for that theme song, players and playerettes. I thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate your attention and praise. I appreciate how y'all are doing everything you can to spread these motherfucking BSTs across the world like seeds that are going to grow into wonderful and beautiful fame trees that are going to make me famous and bring me lots of cash money. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Preach. Now, have a good ass day. See you later. Until next time. Still smells like my wretched fart over here.